You do not like the position Michigan is in with Bryce West, which is none. Bryce West did commit to Ohio State this weekend. Not a terrible shock. I think a lot of the news of Michigan trying to maybe get a midweek visit was hoping to get him to stave off that commitment. I think they knew there was a serious threat that West would commit this weekend and hoping to delay that a little bit. Yeah. Obviously, they were unable to do that. West has been, going back to April, he said pretty flat out that Ohio State was his leader. So I think Michigan made a great run at him. And again, if you want to call that a moral victory or whatever, I think them being in it as long as they were was impressive. Not shocked there. But Aaron Scott also in Columbus this weekend did not commit to Ohio State. We felt Michigan could be in the lead at this point heading into Columbus. Feels like he's going to be either early July, late July, sometime in the next month, possibly going to drop as a commitment. You still calling Michigan a leader with Aaron Scott, or where do you think things sit after his official visit to Columbus?
I think it's a little too close to call. I would say I think Michigan is a leader right now. I wouldn't say I know for a fact Michigan is a leader. I think Michigan is in a really good spot. The relationships are strong. Him with Jacob Oden are super close. I think it's a little too close to call, but right now I would say I think Michigan is a leader, and it's close. It's very close. I think the visit to Columbus kind of evened it out a little bit, just like I think the same situation was with Bryce West as well, where I think Michigan evened out a little bit as well. But it's a very tough situation. I will tell you what the staff think. I think that the staff feels very good about their chances, and you can take it or leave it at that point. Michigan feels good about a lot of recruits that don't necessarily pan out in their favor, but most of the time their confidence is well placed, and they feel confident for a reason. And I think Scott has given a lot of clues as to how Michigan factors in for him. So I think coming out of that Ohio State visit, no news is good news, obviously. But I do think he would probably need to visit campus again at some point to kind of get another look and get another refresh. I don't think that if he doesn't make a trip anywhere after this that he's for sure going to Ohio State, but I think another trip to Ann Arbor is a very positive sign and a positive development that he's really weighing this thing out. But going by what the staff feel, the staff feels pretty good, then I kind of have to go with what we're being told, and that Michigan sits in a pretty good spot. So I guess today, if I were forced to choose, I would reluctantly pick Michigan, because I just don't really know. I just don't know for sure. I think it is too close to call right now, but the fact that they have Ohio State has Bryce West committed, I think that really opens up Michigan's chance of saying, hey, you can be the lead guy to go alongside with Tarian Nichols, who they had on campus this weekend, that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But I do think I think Michigan will get Aaron Scott when all is said and done, but I don't say that with a ton of confidence.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this entire time that West and Scott needed to be recruited differently. They're different players. I don't think actually, we know the push of like the two of them teaming up together wasn't something that was going to land, right? They weren't two guys that were really committed to playing in the same spot, right? Yeah. Scott strikes me as a kid that doesn't necessarily love all the attention. And I don't think he knows where he's going yet. And I think letting the dust settle a little bit, because June has been a lot of attention. I think letting the dust settle a little bit. And then, like you said, potentially coming back to campus again under a much lighter, microscope or whatever, just a nice little chill visit coming up again, just to maybe get a couple things buttoned up. But on this last visit, I know they got into the books, him and Klink, and they talked about like, this is how we're going to use you. Really checked a lot of those boxes. So I'm with you. I feel confident about Scott with Michigan, because I think the family pitch and that atmosphere and this group that's already committed to Michigan, I think he felt that vibe, and I think he leans there. But when he's home now, and again, lets the dust settle for a couple of weeks, I think he'll start to feel pulled in one direction, and that's going to be where he decides. And we'll obviously keep an eye on if he does come back again. But if he doesn't, like you said, I don't think it necessarily means anything negative or positive. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of pro OSU chatter coming out of this weekend. That's a win. He didn't commit, and we're not seeing the Gatlin Bear type feedback for Aaron Scott at OSU. So